Hi, Kevin. It's fantastic to see you again.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So nice to see you. Are you in your car?
I am in my car, yes. I've been doing quite a few solo gigs recently. So I've just been in London and I'm just on my way to Birmingham. So I'm yeah, living out of the suitcase for a few days.
Oh, well, it's so good to see you again. For anybody that's not been following Wet 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 for the last few years, I don't know where they've been, but let's just fill them in that you are the new lead singer, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I've kind of been the lead singer for about 4 years now, but obviously with the break with COVID, obviously it's kind of I suppose a lot of people maybe forget that there's been some changes in the band and stuff. But yeah. I don't think I could have asked for much more really, as far as like the way I feel within the band and the way it's kind of gone performance wise and with the new album and stuff like that, writing is kind of just been quite seamless, I guess. It's never been like a chore or a real effort to sort of to be part of the group. Do you know what I mean? The guys have welcomed me in from the start um and I've just felt very comfortable from the beginning really and I love just going and gigging. That's my favorite thing, gigging with the guys.
I mean, that's the thing. It seems like you've just slotted in absolutely perfectly. But, Wet, Wet, Wet before they had, I think I read some stats that it was like 500 weeks in the charts and, sold over 15 million records, singles, and albums. It's a huge, huge band to step into. You must have felt like pretty nervous, surely.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't really nervous about like the stature of the band because I know like obviously the history of the band is huge, but that was a long time ago as well. So it's like, it's not like jumping into like the Killers or something now, who are right up there, and
Yeah.
if that was the case, then maybe it would. But I suppose with the guys sort of being out of the spotlight for a little while, I think like we all kind of took the pressure on collectively. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't like everything was like on me. It was kind of like on us all. And the thing I was most sort of nervous about really was the first gig, just remembering all the words and just making sure I didn't mess up. That's always been the thing that really bothers me. It's just if my voice isn't right or if I'm that stresses me out. But generally, try to look after myself and when it comes to sort of like the stage time, I can generally sort of pull it off hopefully. But that's the thing I get more nervous about. I don't really think about sort of history and you know but try not to think too much about what people think, just hopefully just I guess like like an athlete sometimes, you sort of you leave your performance out there, so that it's the best that you can do. And if that's as long as you're happy with that, and you can't do any better, then realistically, most people that are out there should enjoy it too, hopefully.
Oh, what a brilliant answer. I was a massive, massive, massive Marty fan. I still, love Marty to bits, but I was a huge Wet, Wet, Wet fan too. And I was so skeptical when I heard that the band were going to continue without him. And I just thought there's absolutely no way this can work. And I saw Marty, I think, a couple of years ago, just before lockdown. He was playing in Nottingham, playing on his own, doing his thing, being amazing. I heard that you guys were going and didn't know what to expect. But I can honestly say, when I saw you at Rewind, you totally blew me away. It was incredible. I think there's enough love for Marty and enough love for Wet Wet Wet. It's possible to love them both. It was absolutely, it couldn't have been any better, I don't think.
Oh, thank you so much. But yeah, I think you just like hit the nail on the head, really. You know what I mean? There's the band and then there's Marty. And for me personally, yeah, I don't have a relationship with Marty whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? The only way I know really of Marty is kind of when I used to sing the band songs when I was younger and stuff. So like for me, he's like, he'll always be like a massive part of this group and the history. And I suppose like he's just sort of passed the baton on to me. Maybe not, personally, he's not sort of said, "Hey, do this," but I think like you say, obviously some people maybe who can't accept the fact that the guys have carried on and got a new singer and stuff. I think you're right. I think that Marty's out doing his thing and the guys are out doing theirs. And if anything, you've got two a band you can follow and you can follow Marty and you kind of have the best of both worlds and support everyone within the band, I guess, you know. And
That's exactly how I see it. You know, two opportunities to see, you know, to hear all the great songs. You're obviously very different to Marty, but you have the most incredible voice. Marty, you know, does his stuff, doesn't he? He's a larger than life character, but both work.
yeah, I mean, I don't see why, but you know, 100%. You know, we are. I'd imagine we're different. You know, I've not studied Marty, you know, and what he does on stage, but but I've seen, you
Does a
know,
lot of
older
crotch
videos
grabbing
and
and all
stuff.
that kind of stuff.
Sorry. All
He
right,
does a
yeah.
lot of
So
crotch
there you
grabbing
go.
and all that kind of stuff.
So there you go. It's like totally not me. You know, I'd say I'm a lot more reserved as a showman sort of thing. I like to sing and I like to give everything singing wise and through my voice. And, you know, I will get carried away sometimes, but yeah, I've never been the sort of cheeky chappy that goes and like tells anecdotes to the crowd and stuff and whatever. And I'm not saying that's Marty, but you know, there's people that I've worked with in the past that are like that and they've got that in their armory. Whereas for me, I'm sort of all about singing the songs to the best of their ability and you know, and putting on a show and having a vibe with the band and stuff and it being a collective sort of experience, I suppose. So yeah, like you say, you know, we're definitely different as performers, I'd say, but yeah, I think it definitely works both ways.
Definitely works. And it seems like the other members of the band have started to shine a little bit more as well now.
I mean, I can't comment too much on that because I don't really know what the guys were like. I've never watched
Ah,
the band with Marty, so I never really sort of knew what the dynamic sort of was. But for me, it's kind of for me like playing with a band has always been my sort of dream. You know, I've done the Liberty X thing, which was very different to playing with like musicians, but we had a band behind us sometimes, and I've done stuff on my own where I've had a band, and I've always just found it so like liberating and fun. You know, and I never have the urge, and I never really have had the urge to be like, I want to be out front. I want to be the one, you know, it's all about me. Um, I just, I like just playing with the band and it being sort of like a team effort. And I completely buzz off them and buzz off them, like going to the front and doing their bits and having a laugh at Graham trying to dance and stuff like that. For me, so for me, it's just all about like having fun on stage. I love that aspect, you know, where I've got people around me because a lot of the time over the years and even this week, you know, I'm doing gigs on my own. So I
yeah.
don't have anyone else to feed off. So I just love that side of it.
You had lockdown, but you guys were super busy. I want to know how this worked because you've got two gorgeous little boys, similar age to my little boys. Were you not supposed to be homeschooling, but instead you were writing an album?
Yeah, I mean, God, yeah, I homeschooled all the way through, and like the album sort of came. It's so hard to think back now because it's just all such a blur. But um, yeah, it was kind of like a bit of both, really. A lot of homeschooling, and I suppose as that sort of died down and the kids started going back, that's when I really could concentrate on like doing bits on the album, you know, and spending a bit more time on that. But yeah, it was, to be honest, it was good to have like those things with the homeschooling and obviously the album, and we did all sorts of other lockdown sort of things, you know, to keep your mind, you know, on it because. I did think at times that I was totally like sort of losing my identity and who I am and what I do because I wasn't yet, you know, able to go out and sing and gig.
You were one of the last industries to get back to work. How was that for you?
Yeah, it was really, really difficult. Obviously not just from like a, you know, identity sort of like perspective, you know, like that's what I do and what I've done all my adult life. But also like financially as well, you know, going like nearly 2 years without income, you know, and having a young family to provide for is very, very difficult. But, you know, thankfully with, you know, writing the album, doing recording, doing little acoustic videos and stuff with the guys, and homeschooling stuff, you know, it kind of kept the mind sort of busy, I suppose. And you know, at least we were sort of like preparing for when all this sort of
Yeah.
ended and we could get back out again.
What do the kids think of Daddy now then when they see him up on stage doing his stuff with Wet Wet Wet?
Um, the kids, I don't know, to be honest. You know, they're just like they did. You know, I guess I've always been out gigging and stuff since they were babies. So for them, it's sort of like it's really cool, but it's just something that I've always done. I think they get more excited. They love coming to gigs with
Yeah.
me and hanging out with me. you know, I don't think they're that fussed about going out in the crowd and watching me, but they love like being around and coming to work with dad. And like, especially like if I'm doing panto or something, obviously that's loads of fun for them because like there's costumes and stuff and they can just mess about. But yeah, they just, yeah, I don't know. I think they just, that's what I do and what I've always done. And they sort of just, they're not really too fussed about it, to be honest.
So, Kevin, tell me a little bit about the album then, because it's out on November the 5th. It's called The Journey.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with it. And it was, it was obviously a really testing time, you know, trying to write during lockdown. And the whole thing's been done sort of remotely. So all the, all the vocals and guitars, and I think the drums are the only things that were done like literally in the studio. So all the vocals I recorded at home. I've got a studio at home now, but I didn't have it when we were doing it. So literally, I built like a little vocal booth, and I used to nick the kids' covers and stick them over my head, so like it deadened the sound and stuff. So it's unreal that it's like come together, you know, how it has. And when you listen to the album, it's like you just wouldn't believe that that's the process that it was, you know, because it just doesn't sound like that, which is obviously great. But yeah, I mean, I'm just really, really happy with the album. Do you know what I mean? I think I was slightly worried at the beginning, you know, that we weren't going to be able to do it because it is just so hard trying to do stuff over like Zoom and things like that. But somehow we sort of found a way in it, and it just all sort of came together.
Yeah.
I kind of like to try and interpret it myself. Yeah. And besides, I can't understand the word that Graham says, so it would be a waste of time him trying to explain it to me.
That was on my list of questions, actually. Do you understand what that guy's on about half the time?
Yeah, I'm only joking. I do. I think being a northerner gives me a little bit of an advantage, you know, jumping in the band with the guys. It was a culture shock, I'm not going to lie. The first time I went up to meet the guys and we went and did a photo shoot and stuff, and everyone was Glaswegian, and you know, like everyone that worked with the band, all the photographers, just everyone was. And I was kind of like, you know, I kind of felt like I was in like Tokyo or something, you know, like back in the day, you know, where I just could not understand a word that anyone was saying. But as time's gone by, you know, I've kind of picked up that it's not too much different to how sort of we speak. But maybe like for like a southerner or something, or someone coming from London, it might be a little bit more of a difficulty. But I don't know.
A challenge to understand.
I think what it is like, you know, if I think if like Graham or Neil or Tommy or whatever is talking to somebody like yourself, maybe they speak differently. But when they're all together, it's like everything goes out of the window. Do you know what I mean?
Now we are super excited because October the 31st, Halloween actually, you guys are coming to play at the Royal Concert Hall. Tell us what we can expect from this gig then.
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, we're just really excited to get back out and touring around the UK. Obviously, we've done some festivals over the summer and stuff, which has just been absolutely amazing. And it's been, you know, great to just go out and play to crowds that maybe not necessarily there to watch Wet Wet Wet, you know, because there's lots of different bands on. So it's kind of been really cool to play to like and hopefully surprise people, you know, that maybe didn't really know much about the band over the last few years. But obviously when it comes to doing our own tour, you know, people sort of buy tickets to come and watch us. So we're really excited to just go back out and see the fans of the band and play some new music for them, play all the old hits and stuff, and just have a party, I guess, you know. And it's October, November, you know, throughout those 2 months. So it's kind of getting towards Christmas. Everyone's kind of feeling good, hopefully. And yeah, we're just looking forward to having a party with everyone, really.
It's a 20-date tour, isn't it? I think Nottingham's the 4th date on the tour. For anybody that hasn't bought tickets yet then for Nottingham, what would you say to those people to persuade them to come along?
I would just say, you know, if you want a great night out, a great bunch of musicians playing, you know, and I think that's one thing that I think is maybe overlooked, you know, and been overlooked maybe in the past is that, I mean, even myself, you know, I didn't know how good the guys were, you know, as musicians. And then you got Graham Duffin as well playing lead guitar is just incredible. And I think, you know, as far as like, you know, people who there's singers and there's guitarists and stuff like that, and he is definitely that. Do you know what I mean? So like, if you want to just come and watch some amazing musicians play and then a fairly decent singer singing the songs, you know.
I think you're better than a fairly decent singer.
Well, you know, but if you know, just come and watch a band with amazing songs, an amazing back catalogue of songs, and you know, and maybe even if you're just curious to see what the band's like with me fronting it, you know, come and see. I don't think the tickets are that dear, so it won't be a waste of it. Cheaper than a few gin and tonics.
Kevin, it's an absolute pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time. Have a fantastic tour, and I'll look forward to seeing you in Nottingham.
Thank you very much, and I'm definitely going to hold you to that good review you're going to give us.
Make sure you do that shout out then. I'll make sure Tommy does that shout out.
No problem. 5 stars.
5 stars you'll get. Lovely chatting, Kevin. Thanks a million.
You too. Thank you.